Hello, hello, good evening, everybody. Hope you are all having a wonderful Friday, getting ready for your weekend. It is your boy, Marky Mark, here on another video. This is video number 2 for me all time. Got some great content, great things to talk about today that went down in Broncos country and some Broncos news. First and foremost, starting off the day, we had Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick was restructured. He restructured his deal, took a new 1 year deal. I personally am a huge fan of it. I think it's a really good move. Kind of surprising. I figured they would try to do this, but I don't know if he would agree to it, or maybe they just wanted to straight cut ties. But I think it's a great signing for the team. It's hopefully a low risk, low reward. It's obviously still going to save us a lot of cap money, but it really is about building that culture, building that foundation. Prior to the season during training camp, um, Sean Payton talked a lot about Tim Patrick, how he had a lot of plans for him. I really felt like he was going to be kind of in that Michael Thomas role, a little bit more physical, cross the middle type of guy, and he's also a phenomenal blocker. I know that it was 2 back-to-back seasons of injuries. You got the ACL and then you got the Achilles, but the good news is he had a lot of time to get the ACL healed, so that should be good to go. And typically, Achilles injuries don't always linger. So I think he'll surprise a lot of people with how he looks in training camp if he can stay healthy for sure. So super happy about that. I think it's a great move. I think it shuts up a lot of the narrative about Broncos and this front office really being unfair. A lot of people thought they were unfair with Justin Simmons, and in my opinion, it's just not true. I think teams have to honor the contract, the guaranteed portion of the contract. That's the only part of these contracts that really matter. And they've done more than that with Justin Simmons. They gave him all the guaranteed money plus an additional year. They let him go prior to free agency to get a head start, to not really let the market dictate, because it is a very, very, there's a lot of congested market for safety, for lack of better words. So it's one of those situations where maybe he can get ahead of it and sign with a contender and not have to worry about his price being driven down with all the competition that he has with everybody else playing safety. The second thing that came today was Mike McGlinchey. He had restructured. Well, this is not in order. Mike McGlinchey, we recently got word about an hour ago that he had restructured, taken a little bit, probably prorated, pushed some money down, saved us about 7.5, $8 million, I think, according to sources. So that was a big time move. A lot of people criticize Mike McGlinchey. He's really not that good in pass protection. I think this is somebody that really is still kind of coming into his own. I think he's finally going to be able. I think he's going to take a next step forward. Zach Strief is one of the best O-line coaches already. He's got an amazing reputation, and I think if we can have some sort of an offensive identity with the new quarterback, he can really come into his own, and he just really needs to focus on getting healthy. But it was really nice of him to be able to open up a lot of cash room, give us some flexibility. We're well under the cap now, which is really good. It does essentially guarantee that he's probably going to play 4 of the 5 years of his contract, whereas previously 3 of the 5 were guaranteed. So it kind of adds that to it, but there's always some things you can do to get out of it. So we'll worry about that down the road. Chris Manhertz was cut. Some people surprisingly were upset about this. I know he got brought in to be a blocking tight end. I think he struggled. I don't think he was that impressive in the blocking tight end role. We can certainly replace him. We need to revamp that entire room. So saving a couple $1 million there was good. And then we had also signed Quinn Bailey, just a solid depth O-line piece. He's been here for a few years. He's a good rotational guy, somebody that could play tackle, that could play guard. You can never really have enough of those guys. So I'm all about those. So overall, a really solid day. I think we're definitely not done with the moves, but we've gotten enough done to be able to have some salary cap space to see what happens with free agency when it opens up here on Monday. I know it officially opens up Wednesday, but let's face it, the legal tampering period, that is certainly the start of free agency, and that starts on Monday. So super excited. Might see a few things before the weekend. I don't think we'll see any trades yet. I think the Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy trades, I think one of them is at least traded. But I think that starts to happen as free agency opens or as we get closer to the draft or even during the draft. But let me know your thoughts. I think that the Broncos are, and there's going to be something that they do with Ballsy too. I hope it's an extension, but when you look at Spot Track, we have the ability to free up quite a bit more space. I think we could easily have $48 to $55 million in cap space, and that actually makes you a player for a lot of legitimate free agents. I don't think we'll be as quiet as everybody thinks that we're going to be. We're definitely not going to be in it with the big free agents, but I would definitely expect a quarterback to be signed. I would certainly expect maybe even a free agent wide receiver. We'll certainly get a free agent safety, corner. I think we're going to look at all positions, and I think we're going to try to get as much value as we can in a lot of young players. So we'll go through that. We'll make a completely separate video of some really good free agent finds. That'll be something that'll be coming here in the next couple of days. Some guys that I think would be a great fit, but also some guys that might be surprising and might make a lot of sense for Broncos country. So, and then lastly, what I've heard, what we've seen, there's some rumors out there. I don't really know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I've kind of gone back and forth, but apparently the New England Patriots look to be shopping Mac Jones. Some people have tied the Broncos into it because when he was coming out, Sean Payton had said some comments about they were really interested. They were very high on Mac Jones. I think after seeing the body of work, listen, is he somebody that fits into this system? Yes. And that's kind of what's scary because I think he fits really well into what Sean Payton would want to do. But I think his upside is so unbelievably limited. And I really believe that if you ended up trading for somebody like him, that really might hold you back from taking a guy in the draft. If somebody said, Mark, you're going to get Mac Jones, but you're also going to draft a rookie quarterback in the first round, I would be all about it. Let Stidham and let Mac Jones battle it out for the bridge job. And then the rookie comes in whenever he's ready, whether it's week 1 or week 10 or the following season. But a move like that just kind of signals to me that maybe they would just commit to it and try to build out the roster, which I'm not against having a bridge quarterback for this season. Not against it. If there's obviously a lot of factors that go into it, but I'm not against it. I'm really about bringing a lot of talent and youth and bolstering all the holes that are in this roster, which there is a lot of them. I'll tell you that. The only thing that I would not want to do in terms of moving or getting a quarterback in the first round is if it involved us giving next year's first round pickup. I don't think we can sacrifice another year of an early round pick to be able to do it. You've got to be so convinced that this is going to be your CJ Stroud, your Patrick Mahomes type of player. And if you're not, then you just can't risk it. And if JJ McCarthy and Bo Nix aren't really as high on Sean Payton's board as I think a lot of people think that they are, then I'm fine with trading back, getting more picks, and building out this roster as much as we can. What I think is an ideal situation for the Broncos is if we take a very, very, very highly talented, skilled offensive player, somebody like a Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU, somebody like a Brock Bowers, a tight end from Georgia at 12, and be able to find out a way to be able to trade back into the top of the first round and take your Bo Nix there. Because I think Bo Nix is a really good fit for what Payton wants to do. Or maybe trade back a little bit and get, 2 guys in the upper part of the first round. But I think it's important to draft a quarterback in the first round for the first year, for that 5th year option. And I think it's important to see if you can double up. So if we can double dip somehow in the first round, that's the most ideal. But there's a lot that has to happen for that to be able to take place. We need to somehow be able to get some assets to either even get a second round pick to be able to trade that or trade a player to be able to move up. But that would be kind of my ideal scenario. But excited to see how it plays out. Appreciate you guys riding with me tonight. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. And whenever, if you're watching this and you enjoy some of this content, you want to get on into the debate, please feel free to like the video, definitely comment. I'll be super active in my comments and hit that subscribe button for me. That'd be super appreciated. And we'll talk to you guys later. Salute to y'all.